So Duet Night Abyss just started its closed beta test, and compared to the technical test almost a year ago, there's a lot of new stuff to check out. First off, we got a couple of new characters. The story now has a dual narrative, meaning you get to experience it from different perspectives. So at the beginning of the game you choose the male or the female, but during certain moments you will play the game from the other character's perspective, the one that you didn't choose at the beginning. On the multiplayer side now we got online co-op enabled, along with team chat and matchmaking, which makes it easier to form up a team and run missions together. Also they added an entire new roguelike mode. They also added a pet system where you can now capture and upgrade different pets. Of course there are also a couple of new boss fights, some of them are really good, and more story content. Also the story content and the first chapter is now fully voiced in 4 languages: English, Japanese, Korean and Chinese. Visually speaking, the game got a noticeable upgrade compared to the technical test, so especially the lightning effects, you can see a big difference. Each character can equip any weapon, both one melee weapon and one ranged weapon at a time. This is nothing new, this was already present in the technical test. However, we also now got the feature to dye your weapon, so coloring your weapon the way you want it. Let's start with a short showcase of all of the new characters that have been added to the closed beta test. If you're new to the game and want to see all the characters the game has, not just the new ones, I've made a separate video for that one. You can find it on the channel. I leave a link to this video in the description below. In terms of design, my favorite new character is definitely Hellfire, even though she's just a 4-star character. Her signature weapon is Greatsword and she's a tank. She has a skill to taunt the enemies, which is especially useful if you're playing in online co-op. The way her kit works as a tank, basically her ultimate is on-demand damage and taunts all enemies, and it works together with her skill. Her skill increases her defense and applies a pyro AoE debuff to all enemies, and every time she gets hit, the pyro debuff is extending its duration. Her damage scales off of her max HP, and one of her passive gives her double max HP, and also auto heal, 0.5% max HP per second healing on max level. In terms of gameplay, the most interesting new character is definitely Fina in my opinion. She's a summoner type. She doesn't really have ultimate skill in the traditional sense. Instead, her ultimate is summoning a pet. And if you press the ultimate button again, you can change it to another pet. So there are 4 different pets, and they all have a different element type. If you currently have a pet summoned and you press the E skill, additionally to your own attack, your pet will attack simultaneously. Next we have Randy, which is a shielder. Both his E skill as well as his ultimate provide a shield for the team. His ultimate, so his Q skill, he throws a spear on the ground, and the spear will trigger a lightning bolt every few seconds and does shield damage to the enemy, and also provide shield to your team based off Randy's defense. His E skill, however, provides directly a shield on demand. While he's in that state, he is unable to move, but you can deactivate the state by pressing the E skill again. So yeah, this character is completely based around providing survivability and shield for your team. Personally, I haven't played him too much yet, cause so far I didn't have any need for shields, since I was using Hellfire, which is already a really strong tank by herself. Another pretty unique character is Yale and Oliver. So the boy here is called Yale and the bomb on his belt is called Oliver. And the way his kit works is if you press E, he changes into floating mode and you can drop these bombs. And as you can see, they have a timer and then they explode. And if the explosion radio is hitting another bomb, they will also explode. So it plays a little bit like Bomberman World, like back in the old arcade days many years ago. And with the ultimate skill, you can basically set like a self buff an area and drop all of these bombs. And if you press the Q skill again, you can make all bombs explode immediately. And the last new character is Margie, a 4-star pyro damage dealer. You will encounter her very early in the story and get her for free. Both her E skill as well as her ultimate deal pyro damage. One of the main questions you guys have is probably about the monetization and the Gacha system. So in this game it's called Retrace, and You hit pity after 90 pulls. And after 90 pulls, you get the on-banner character guaranteed, so there's no 50-50 or anything, just straight up, after 90 pulls you get the character. But this is called Destined Chrono, and it only counts for the first time you're pulling for that character. So if you want to have dupes for that character, this is gone then. Starting from pulling the same character for the second time, you don't get it anymore. The percentage for pulling the on-banner 5-star character, again, we're talking about from your second time pulling this character. After hitting your pity the second time, then it's 50% the chance. For the weapon banner, however, it's always guaranteed, and it's always guaranteed already after 80 pulls. So compared to some other gachas, this is definitely leaning more to the generous and free-to-play friendly side. Now if you pay attention, next to the E skill and my ultimate skill, we have now something called like the C support skill. What it does, it spawns the main character and she will throw something forward or use something. And what she's using is called Geniemon. And this is basically the pet system that I mentioned earlier. Each Geniemon has an active skill as well as a passive skill, and they are quite different. So this one is a DPS. Geniemon deals Lumino damage, 200% of the main character's attack to enemies nearby. This one is also raised to max level 60. And it has a passive skill, Lumino attack plus 32%, and also increases Demon Wedge stats. So the passive effect of this one, you could consider it almost as another gear piece for Lumino characters. And then there are of course other Geniemon types. This one for example increases your defense. Then we also have Shielder Geniemon. So if you're playing co-op online and you tackle harder content and you don't have a shielder on your team, you can just raise one of those. A really useful one is this one here. It restores 60 points of sanity for your party. So this one is not even max level, it's just level 30, and 60 sanity points is a lot. It's for most characters enough to use your ultimate and keep your self buffs up for quite some time. And the cooldown on those Geniemon support skills is also not too long, so just having this Geniemon equipped already enables you to use your ultimate skill regularly. So those were the 5-star Geniemons. As you can see, they also have a rarity. And then of course you have low rarity Geniemons as well, and as you can see they don't have a passive skill usually. So at least the 3-star ones, none of them have a passive effect. So it's mainly the 5-star ones that have that element type passive skill. As I already mentioned, there has been a lot more story content added to the game, as well as a couple of new boss fights. I don't want to spoil too much in this video, but I just want to give you a short preview of what in my opinion is the best boss fight in the game, because this one has actual mechanics to it, which was not the case for the previous boss fights that we encountered in the technical test. So I'm just gonna stop yapping for a moment so I can showcase you the boss fight real quick.
The law shall recount your crimes. No escape from the Inferno's grasp.
Surrender. Tear you apart. May you rest in peace.
How dare you defy the law? No escape from the Inferno's grasp. The law shall recount your crimes.
The gear system is pretty much the same as the technical test. I made a video about this back then. I will also leave it in the description below. However, just a short overview for those who are not familiar with it. So basically, there's a system called demon wedges, which are essentially artifacts. Demon wedges, however, coming with fixed stats. So there are no random rolls or anything, they always have the same stat, and also when you upgrade them they always will have the same stat increase. So you can equip them both to your character and to your weapon separately. And each of those demon wedges has a cost. You can also upgrade all of them. However, if you upgrade them they will have a higher cost. So each demon wedge has a track, and the slot where you put those demon wedges in also has a track. If the track of the slot and the demon wedge is the same, the cost will be much lower. If you want to change the track attribute of the slot, you can do so by using an item called track shift module, and you can get this either by crafting or from boss fights or also from the shop. So this should be it for the quick overview for all of the new systems and features implemented in the closed beta test. Big thanks and shout out to the Duet Night Abyss team for sponsoring this video. If you want to see a showcase of all of the characters, I have uploaded another video on the channel, and I'm also gonna upload another video showcasing all of the boss fights in its highest level version on the channel. So make sure to follow and subscribe if you want to see those. Thanks for watching, see ya.